Teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. Tony Gaskins. Have you ever looked at your life and realized that you've been settling for relationships that drain you, jobs that don't fulfill you, friendships that don't support you, and a life that feels less than what you know you deserve? Too many people stay in situations that make them unhappy simply because they're afraid of losing something, even if that something isn't good for them. They think, at least it's better than nothing. But sometimes, that nothing is better than something that's destroying you. I know a lot of people that stay in jobs that they don't like being in. And I get it, money does rule the world. I'm not saying that if you quit your job, that's it. You'll be better set off and you'll find a high paying job. I'm not saying that at all. But like I said, sometimes it's better to have that nothing than to stay stuck where something is destroying you. And we're going to talk about that in this video today, about why we sometimes accept less than what we deserve, recognizing when we're settling and how to finally demand better for yourself. The biggest reason people might stay in a bad relationship with toxic friends or at a job that's unfulfilling is because they're afraid of being alone. They convince themselves that something is better than nothing, and then you just get trapped in that cycle. But here's the truth. Being alone isn't the worst thing. Being surrounded by the wrong people is. When you fear being alone, you'll tolerate things you shouldn't. You'll justify bad behavior, accept breadcrumbs. You'll shrink yourself just to keep people around. But real happiness starts when you realize that being alone with peace is better than being with people who drain you. And for jobs, a lot of people just settle with the job that they have. They don't try to build up a better future. Maybe they want to start a business. Maybe they want to start up something else, and they don't do it because they're afraid of leaving the situation that they're currently in. And this is to the point of why I said you don't have to leave your job to be stuck where you are. Sometimes you genuinely could just be stuck at that job because you're not trying to put your job application out there, or you're not trying to find better opportunities. You're just comfortable where you are. You might also just believe that you're not good enough. This is really true, that a lot of people don't believe they deserve more, but that's just your mindset. You might have grown up in a home where love was given conditionally, or you might be in a relationship where you're made to feel unworthy. Through this, over time, it starts to instill in your mind that you're just not good enough. And you just start to accept whatever is handed to you, even if it's not enough. No, I'm not making the Kendrick reference. I used to say this to myself a lot, that I was just not worthy. We made a video about accepting mediocrity. You're not mediocre. Whatever you tell yourself is whatever is going to reign true. If you tell yourself that you're not nobody, then you're going to believe that you're nobody. But when you start to build that confidence up, build that foundation to be confident, that's when you're going to be good enough. Because you weren't put here just to exist. You're worthy of love, you're worthy of success, and you're worthy of happiness. But you have to believe it within yourself first. Nobody, no YouTube video, no adult, no person is going to make you believe that but yourself. Because you could get so used to being mistreated or dealing with mediocrity that it starts to just become normal to you. Because if you settled for so long with less, it starts to get more and more familiar. But just because something is comfortable doesn't mean it's good for you. Growth only happens when you step outside of what's familiar and demand better for yourself. These are some signs that I looked up that you can try to identify if you're accepting less than you deserve. You constantly feel drained after spending time with certain people. You start making excuses for why things aren't changing. You keep lowering your standards to keep somebody around. You tolerate disrespect because you don't want to overreact. You feel stuck but are too scared to walk away. If any of these sound familiar to you, you might have a problem with accepting less than you deserve. So, how do we stop that? Well, you could raise or lower your standards wherever you want them to be. But wherever your standard is, Stick to that standard. People are going to treat you how you allow them to treat you. If you want better for yourself, you have to stop tolerating what's not at your standard. That means saying no when something doesn't meet your expectations. That means walking away when someone doesn't show you they don't respect you. That means refusing to settle just because it's easier than starting over. Your standards are not too high. You're not asking for too much. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right life will rise to meet whatever standards you have set. If someone makes you feel unimportant, unheard, or unappreciated, that's all the closure you need. Don't wait for things to get worse before you leave. Don't accept half-hearted love or friendship that only serves the other person. Stop making excuses for people who won't make the same excuses for you. Know what your worth is. The most valuable things in life, right? Gold, diamonds, maybe it's a rare collectible. They're valuable because they're not easily available to everyone. Treat yourself the same way. Stop giving your time, energy, and love to people who don't appreciate it. Stop settling for jobs that make you miserable. Stop saying yes to things that don't align with what you truly want. Teach the world how to treat you and act accordingly to that. You got to be able to treat people the way they want to be treated, but you also have to be able to accept other people treating you the way you want them to treat you as well. Like I said, don't lower that standard. If you really, really want to be with somebody, but you have to lower your standards for them to be accepted into your life, that might not be the person you want to be with. Yes, you could find love out of that, but you shouldn't have to lower your standards to find love, because there's somebody out there for everybody. And this goes for jobs, this goes for family, this goes for everything. Growing up, I knew that, I didn't fully understand about having to walk away from people. I didn't grow up where I was popular or a lot of people recognized me or wanted to be around me. I was just a goofy nerd kid who just happened to grow up in a terrible town. So when I went to school, I kind of connected with like each individual group that there was at schools, you know, the popular kids, the sports kids, because I played sports. Like, I connected with everybody. But I never realized how a lot of those people took that friendship for granted, or just took my kindness for granted that I gave them, because I kept accepting less than what I should have been accepting. And getting older, you kind of realize that when you look back, like, wow, I really let this person into my life when I shouldn't have. And there's nothing wrong with that. People are going to try to use you. People are going to be around just for what you have. And when they can't get that no more, they're going to leave. And that's things you have to experience while growing up. It's not a bad thing. People do it all the time. Sometimes you'll do it. Like, it's okay. It really is. You have to go through these things to understand. But when you realize it, you finally have to let go and set that standard for yourself and be like, I'm not going to let people do this to me anymore. If you take away one thing from this, let it be this. You set the standard for how people treat you and the life you live. If you want better, don't accept less. Walk away from the relationship that's draining you. Say no to the job that makes you miserable. Stop entertaining the friendships that don't support you. Quit justifying the disrespect. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. The life you want, the life you deserve, the peace you crave, it's all waiting for you. But first, you have to believe you're worthy of it. Stop settling. Stop making excuses. Stop accepting less than what you truly deserve. Because once you do, life has a way of giving you more than you ever imagined. The moment you decide you deserve better is the moment things start to change. And that's where I'll leave it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you're notified of new videos I make. Do anything you guys can to help my non-existent videos be seen. And with that, Desea signing off.